What's up, everybody? I am Travesty,
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
and welcome back to another episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast, a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. The same weekly podcast is brought to you by ballwash.com. That's right, guys. The brand new sponsor of the podcast, ballwash.com, is here to help you guys out in the most sensitive part of your body. That's right. We all have those moments where we kind of just get that quick whiff of ourselves and like, oh damn, what the hell happened there? Well, let me tell you, Ball Wash is here to make that problem go away. They have so many different products and kits and even subscriptions that are available to you right now to help you with all of your grooming needs. And from here at Freakin Studios, this freaking show is offering a 15% discount on all final orders. That's right, guys. If you go to ballwash.com and you fill up your cart with all your grooming needs, at the very bottom, you hit that promo code you put in FreakNet. It'll save you 15% on your order. That's right, ballwash.com. Get that funk out of your junk.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
This freaking show is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you need a great book to read, and I know these days I am in desperate need of good books to read, you should head on over to Audible.com. Actually, excuse me, it's audibletrial.com/freaknet and sign up for a 30-day free trial, which comes with 1 free credit for an audiobook. If you're looking for a great way to spend some time while you're stuck indoors during this outbreak, head on over to audibletrial.com/freaknet and maybe pick yourself up Stephen King's The Stand, a 52-hour audiobook that'll at least last you through a whole week of being stuck at home with your cats. Great audiobook. One I highly recommend. It's well read. Plus it helps us out and helps you out. So head on over today, audibletrial.com/freaknet. 30-day free trial and a free credit toward your first book purchase.
How's it feel to have a sponsor you can push now, Joe? It's been a while, ever since Advertise has fallen at the wayside.
I know, it was weird. It was
right?
Weird.
Right? And there was kind of like a lot of decision making, who's gonna do Audible, who's gonna do Ball Wash, and let's face it, I think we went the logical route on this one to where, hey, let's have Cartoon Joe talk about the books, and we'll have Travis talk about dirty sex.
I like it either way.
Yeah, but hey, again, thanks to ballwash.com for taking a chance on not only this freaking show, but FreakNet Studios as a brand. They are a sponsor for not only the Gray Area, which is where we we came together from them. So shout out to Sarge for making that happen. But also, Ball Wash is a sponsor of Just Freakin' Wrestling, the JSW podcast. So, awesome opportunity to partner up with them. And one of the cool things, that came out of ballwash.com is that they sent, this freaking show a gift of, one of their kits. That I'm really excited that we have an opportunity to do stuff like this. And I was sitting there talking to Sarge because they sent one to the Gray Area, and Sarge was like, "Oh, I'm so excited! I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna sample it and try it and blah blah." And I kept thinking to myself, like, it'd be awesome to use it, but wouldn't it be even greater to give it away to one of our listeners?
I completely agree with you.
Right? I mean, it's one of the simplest things we could do to give back to those who have listened to us on a weekly basis.
Plus, once you use this stuff, I think you'll probably be hooked. You'll probably be very into it. And, I hope it'll encourage you to invest in ballwash.com and get your own thing going from them.
I agree with 100%, Joe. So we're going to try to figure out exactly how we want to work it. That's going to be something we'll release that next week on the rules and what you got to do in order to participate in the giveaway. I know we're going to do some kind of raffle. I know that for a fact. I just want to figure out how we're going to do the raffle and what we're going to need our listeners to do to participate in that. And if you guys haven't had a chance to check out the Facebook page, which is This Freakin' Show, if you haven't, make sure you go like the page so you know when things are dropping there. But I posted a picture of the stuff that we're raffling off. And real quick, I just want to tell you guys what comes with the winning package kit. So, first off, you get Ball Wash. It's a powder, it's a powerful yet gentle pH balanced wash featuring activated charcoal, formulated for a man's most odor-prone and sensitive area that keeps you feeling fresher longer. And it also brings nut rub. And yes, guys, these are legit products. It's not, I know it sounds funny, but trust me, they're legit products, and they fucking work. And it's one of the cool things, and I can't remember the quote that Sarge used, but it's a silly company with a serious product or something like that. But it comes with nut rub, a long-lasting, solid cologne and skin balm that's safe to apply to sensitive areas and will keep you smelling better while protecting your skin from harmful bacteria. Also comes with Sack Spray, a pH balance on the go refreshing spray that helps neutralize odors, irritation, and itch. Finally, it also comes with a Ball Guard liquid powder, reduces sweat, irritation, and odor. So, this stuff comes in a kit that you can get at ballwash.com, but we're going to give it away absolutely free to one of you guys, starting next week. So make sure you tune in next week to get the rules and regulations of all of that as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It feels like a new moment, Joe. In a world where chaos is ensuing, Freakin Studios is growing just a little bit more.
Indeed.
Right. And it's not like that we're profiting from the downfall of society. It just happens to coincide with it at this moment. So, I'm not sure if I used that word right. Coincide. I think that's right. Right?
Happening at the same time. Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Perfect. Joe, we spoke a little bit earlier, before we started the show about how, this, quarantining, the stay at home, policy, I can't remember the proper term for it, that is put forth, not only in Chicago, not only in Illinois, but almost pretty much across the United States. It's affecting us, not only mentally, but, kind of in a physical way. I was kind of starting to mention, and I was just kind of telling, because we do this thing where we talk to each other for like a couple of minutes before we start recording, and it's not so much getting the structure of the show down, but more or less just kind of like chit-chatting. Because we really, I mean, like, for being family and for not being that far away from each other, we really don't talk that much unless we're about to record something.
This is true.
Yeah, which we do gotta change.
Okay.
We gotta
do better.
But we do take the opportunity to kind of catch up and talk about everything. And it's like, why sit there and talk about it with just us when we can share it with all the listeners out there? And that's what the podcast is all about, is sharing our life's experiences with those who are sharing literally the same exact kind of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it being emotional. We talked about being physical and everything. You being up in the city, how is it affecting your life currently? Just a quick synopsis of how you've been feeling or been dealing with it for the last week and a half.
Yeah, I feel super cooped up and stir crazy because there's really nothing to do. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to the coffee shop. There's really no point in heading over to the church where I work at. It's just a kind of a wasteland. I'm stuck at home except for when I can still go for a walk. Don't get me wrong. Although as of today, I can no longer walk, the trails next to the lake. They closed those down, because too many people were walking on them.
I heard about that.
I got a real weird alert to my phone. I thought it was an Amber Alert at first because of the way it was screaming at me. But, no, I guess, tons of people, thousands of people flocked to the lakeside yesterday because it was a beautiful day and that's what you do in the city. And, there was just, you're supposed to maintain that distance of 6 feet and people weren't doing it. And so they were like, well, if you're not going to follow the rules, then we got to make the rules tighter. So it's been rough. I've really, it's not like I really went very many places before the lockdown, but now that the option is gone, it's like, man, this sucks.
And I kind of felt the same way about Dunkaroos.
Yes.
I never really appreciated how much Dunkaroos were a part of my life until they were gone. Now here they're making a comeback, which is absolutely amazing. For them to be
You know what's a good substitute?
What's that?
Go get yourself a regular pack of graham crackers and then just a whole thing of funfetti frosting.
But it can't just be regular graham crackers, right?
It's really close. They're not exactly right, but they're pretty close.
What about Golden Grams? Are Golden Grams still a thing?
The cereal? I don't know.
No, Golden Grams aren't the Teddy Grams.
Oh, Teddy Grams. Oh, wait, yeah, Teddy Grams would be even more
Teddy
spot
Grams
on.
and Golden Grams two different things?
I think so. Golden Grams is the square cereal with the lines on it.
And Teddy Grams are the teddy bear shaped graham crackers.
I think so. I'm gonna double check right now. You can probably listen at home.
Yeah, you look it up. But
yep, that's them.
Okay, cool. Because I don't know. Like I know Dunkaroos are coming back. I'm afraid to try them because I don't think they'll be the same at all. Because usually when shit comes back, they change the flavor of it to make it easily more produced to make a better dollar off of it.
Oh, for sure. Well, and there's lots of stuff that they're not really allowed to use anymore that they could use in the 90s.
Right.
You know.
Do you remember a drink? It was made by Snapple. It's like they're called Elements.
Yes. Oh my God, I missed those.
They used to come in like an aluminum can, and there was like rain and
fire.
Fire, yeah. I guess all the fucking elements. Not ground though. That'd be weird.
No, they had like thunder though, which is not an element, but it was tasty.
Yeah. Now here's one you probably won't remember. And this isn't the basis of the show, guys. I'm just really fucking hungry. There used to be these peanuts made by Planters that were filled with chocolate. They're like peanut shells. They're filled with chocolate.
Really?
Yeah. That was my happiness as a child.
That sounds incredible.
I don't know how I don't have diabetes, but I look like a guy that should have diabetes. Like no joke. When I started working at this new job and I was waking up with my hands hurting and everything, and before I realized it was carpal tunnel, my first thought was like, I am finally a diabetic.
Oh.
And I'm going to lose a foot or whatnot. But no, luckily, it's sad to say luckily, but it is just carpal tunnel.
Right.
I just don't understand how I don't have diabetes yet, because I know what I fucking put in my body. And no matter how much dieting I do, it never fucking changes. I mean, when you sit there and you make an entire YouTube video about drinking soda.
Choosh. I feel the same way sometimes. But it's always good. I go to the doctor and they test my blood sugar and they're like, it's fine. I'm like, great. That's what I like to hear.
There was one point where I went and got it wasn't a physical, but so much of a checkup, blood draw and everything. I could almost hear the surprise in my doctor's voice when he said, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong. And I was like, no, seriously, just tell me, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, like what was that? He's like, no, everything's good. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, weird.
Damn, no offense, but you don't even have high cholesterol?
No,
I got high cholesterol.
Now here's the thing though. This was a few years back. Now I did get blood drawn when I worked at Mead, awesome company. They did an annual blood drawing and stuff like that. Now I do have high cholesterol, but and I don't know how the numbers work, but I am 1 point off of being in between good.
Nice.
And to give you a range, and I could be completely wrong. I don't have the paperwork in front of me. It doesn't really matter. But let's say the range is between 18 and 42. Let's just say that's what the range is.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm at 19. So, basically, in order to improve that number, I just have to ease up on salt. That's about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but that's it. I mean, like, I am fat as fuck. And I eat unhealthy as shit, but yet the only problem I have is my cholesterol is a little bit wonky.
Nice.
But no, I don't have diabetes, I don't have high blood pressure, doctor says like, well, you are slightly overweight. I'm like, let's not kid ourselves, I know how overweight I am. To tell me I'm slightly overweight is completely ignorant because I know what I am. But at the same time, you get those doctors like, well, you should be 180 pounds. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm ever going to be 180 pounds.
No.
Fuck no.
I'll could die if I could ever get down to 180 again.
Do you remember the lightest you weighed as an adult? Like
as an adult?
Yeah.
I got down to, I think, 185 when I was doing P90X in college.
Okay. So, between 20, 23, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lightest I weighed as an adult was when I was, I think I was like 20 years old and I weighed like 280. You know, I was like, I'm a big guy. Like, I'm never going to be like a small fucking person. I mean, the last time I was 180 pounds, I was 12 years old.
Damn.
And I wasn't fat. I was just a big fucking guy. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of blessed with. Like, I know, looking back in the day and looking at pictures of myself, and people do this to themselves, so don't tell me that I'm wrong, because I know, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the people out there listening. Don't tell me I'm wrong when you go, oh, come on, you weren't that bad looking when you, people give themselves more of a negative outlook than what the rest of society does. But I know I'm fat and I know what I look like, and I've seen pictures, the biggest picture I ever fucking hated myself is when I'm walking and someone's behind me taking a picture of what's forward. I never look as fat as I do when someone takes a picture of my back. Or from behind. Fucking weird. But, I mean, like, I've always been blessed to, no matter how overweight I am, it kind of proportionates itself out throughout my body. I'm not middle heavy, I don't have, like, big thighs and, like, you know, a skinny midsection. Like, the fat's kind of like, okay, you know what, this sucks how much you weigh, but we're just going to proportion it out to every aspect of your body to where it's okay. So, I guess you call that a blessing, but I mean, realistically, like, you know, I need to lose the fucking weight. And I gotta get a hold of Derek.
I'm in a similar boat.
Yeah, I gotta get a hold of Derek because we're supposed to start doing this diet journey together, and I don't know how it's going for him. I know how it's going for me. I don't know how it's going for him. And I actually thought about the other day about having Derek come on the show and you, me, and him kind of talk about dieting and stuff like that. Because I know we talked about dieting and like trying to like better ourselves and everything. And I'm thinking because I have, you know, the Facebook page, This Freakin' Journey, which you guys are looking for diet alternatives or a group of people who want to get to, who are there to motivate each other. Go to, My Freakin' Journey or This Freakin' Journey on Facebook. I can't remember which one because it's been that long since I've been on it. You know, like it, so, sign up to it and everything, because I'm going to get back into that. I really need to, not only for a physical boost to my life, but also a mental boost to my life, because I really need to get my head back into that game. I need to drop that weight. I need to get healthier, because people need travesty around for a very long time.
Agreed.
But I thought having Derek on here and you, me, and him could kind of talk about like our diet journey choices and what we're going to do to move forward. Because I think we're all three of us are probably going to have different journeys.
That's probably true.
So I'm going to go with Derek. I know he's never been a big fan of coming on the podcast, even when he was part of the podcast. But I'm wondering if I can kind of encourage him to do it at least once to kind of talk about this. So we'll see how it goes.
That'd be fun. Derek, come on the show.
Right? He don't listen.
I know.
Yeah. Fucking Derek. But Joe, we're going to talk about coronavirus.
Let's do it.
It's not getting better.
No.
It's not getting better. But I heard they passed the stimulus bill.
They did.
To help out the country after they voted no the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. The House still has to pass it. And then the president has to sign it.
Yeah. Which that was a crazy fucking week for it, because like one day I wake up and, you know, I'm getting ready to go to work, and I hear, like, the night before that, the Senate completely turned down, like, the entire bill and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. But, you know, like, you know, no use crying over spilled milk. Shit happens. You know, I can't sit there and change the past. You know, I can't write a letter, you know. Like, damn you, Pelosi, give me my money. And her being like, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. No, that's not going to work. But then I heard they found, I guess, maybe you heard about more than I, because I mean, even with all the extra time on our hands, I still don't follow fucking news as much as I should.
I follow it more than I should, so probably out.
So they turned down the first plan, found a common ground on the second one, and then passed it. Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically.
Because all I hear is Trump came up with a bill, Senate said no, and they said, well, let's do this, but include energy for windmills. I'm missing somewhere in there, something in there. I know it has something to do with Pelosi wanting to use it and like to not only help out the economy, but help out the environment as well. And a lot of people don't find the the connection between the two. So maybe you have a better idea and can explain it a lot better than I am.
I don't know if I've heard of that particular one. Because this is now the third package that they put together in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're mixing them up. But this one, the first time it was sent, brought to the floor, there was too much of basically a slush fund, like an unregulated slush fund for companies that don't really need it.
Okay.
And not enough protection for workers and for people who are like too poor to work way at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the ways that they kind of came together was they put a few more regulations on the big pot of money. I think it's like $500 billion that businesses, can apply for grants, for loans, in order to pay their employees during this time or to help them make it through the crisis. And then it also provides protection for the people at the bottom, who are now going to be able to, if you lose your job because your company closes, or if you need to be laid off or whatever, you're going to get, not only your full salary, but you're also going to get an extra $600 a week to spend to help you, get through the crisis and be able to spend the money because there's a lot of different philosophies on how the economy works, but this basically attacks it from both levels. This gives both the money that's supposed to theoretically trickle down to the people who it's supposed to trickle down from, and it also gives the money to the people who lift the economy from the bottom so that they can do that. When this is all over with, hopefully people will have a lot of money to spend, and they'll be able to spend it and get a sort of kickstart the economy back into shape later on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me ask your opinion on something. And I want to try to word this properly because in my head, I think I have it right.
Sure.
What they're thinking is people are going to get between $1,200 and $1,300.
Yeah.
It's going to be a one-off payment for single men, $1,200 to $1,300, $500 per child, and I think it's like $2,500 for like a married couple or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. There was, and I can't remember the guy's fucking name, but you will. The Asian dude who was running for president.
Oh, Andrew Yang.
Yes. Now he had a plan to give U.S. citizens or whatever $1,000 a month.
Yep.
To just give them. Okay. When he came across that what he wanted to do, a lot of people said like, hey, that's a great idea. It'll help us out here. It'll help us out there. So on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But now I hear people saying that $1,200 just isn't enough. Now I get it, like in this time where people are losing their jobs and people are stuck at home doing this, that, and the other thing, maybe it's not. But they're just getting the money. Is it just, now from my perspective, and this is just me, this isn't the views of Freakin' in any way, but isn't it kind of fucking petty to bitch about free money?
So the issue is that it's with it only being a one-time payment, it may not help people out. People are, they're not going to get the unemployment money for at least another 8 weeks probably. So they really need the money right now because the rent is due in like 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks actually, as we're recording right now. April 1st is coming and people are going to have, rent to pay, bills to pay, and they're going to be out of work for, almost 3 weeks. And so it's more of it's a good amount, but I think, like my wife and I, we're going to be fine with that kind of money. I think probably you'll be okay with that kind of money, but there are some people where, it's not so much that it won't help them. Of course it'll help them. And of course, you shouldn't look a gift horse in the teeth. But, at the same time, if it were $1,200 a month per adult, a month per adult instead of just a one-time payment, that would be a lot more helpful than honestly either the unemployment insurance or the, just a one-time payment.
Yeah. Well, and I hear cause I tried to read a little bit about the article, like how they broke it down. Now it's only qualified to those who make less than $75 a year.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I do not think so.
Okay.
I think it should be available to every American. Now granted, I have heard, and I didn't know this until like a couple of hours ago, but I guess that the way some of the money is working for the people in the much higher tax brackets, like we're talking people who are making like $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, or more by themselves, are going to be able to collect their full salary plus the unemployment benefits to where they're making like $10,000 a month anyway. And like, that's another issue. But no, I think that with this $1,200 payment, I think everybody should get it, even if you don't really need it, because I really, or maybe the cap should be higher. I'm not exactly sure exactly where it should be. But like, you know, one of the reasons that you know, people in the $100,000 range resent the people who are in the $20,000 range is because they feel like they're very similar in terms of like one emergency away from complete catastrophe, and they're not eligible for the things that the people at the bottom are eligible for. So no, I really think that everybody should get it. Maybe up to, you know, if you're making $1 million a year, you probably don't need it. So I'm not sure where the cutoff is, but it's at least there, you know, for me.
No, and I agree with you, and you know, cause like, not to dive too much into people's finances and everything, but, Mom and Carl are pretty well off for their joint, income annually.
Right.
Jointly, they don't fall within that, they don't fall within like that guideline and everything. Cause I think it's like 75,
for a single person.
Yeah, and then it's like 100 for a married couple or something like that.
It's 150 actually.
150, okay.
Yeah.
So, they don't fall into that. It's not way over, it's just enough over where they don't qualify for that.
Yeah.
Now luckily, they both are still working. Carl works in what is being branded as an essential, employment. So, he's lucky. And he doesn't have to sit there and file for unemployment, take a pay cut and all this other stuff, you know, and he's salary, he gets his money. Mom's, about the same boat. I wouldn't consider it more essential than what most jobs are, but people need fucking batteries.
Yeah, they do.
Now her business is, for at least for the next 2 weeks, is they're only working half crews. So first half works this week, the other half works next week. Just keep people separated, so in case somebody does get sick, not everyone gets sick.
Nice. That's smart.
I work for a company that me personally, and actually a couple of people I work with, are trying to figure out how they qualify as, essential, but somehow they do. And that's fine. I got my money, I got my paychecks, I got my job. I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. But, it's just one of the things, like, you know, like I was unemployed for a couple of months before I found, you know, this position I'm at now.
Right.
And I mean, $1,200 is absolutely better than nothing. You know,
yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like, and it almost bothers me, not so much personally. I don't want to say like, you know, like it really affects me because of what I've gone through, because I haven't gone through a lot. I'm not going to sit there and say that I lived through some shit, because that's not what this is, and I would never claim to be, because I know there are people who are far way off worse than I am. But I mean, it just gets annoying, like when people sit there and say like only $1,200 fucking dollars. Like realistically, nobody had to give you anything.
Right.
You know, like there's nothing anywhere that says like when something happens, they have to give you money and shit like that. And there's not. I've heard,
I can make a constitutional argument from the preamble that in order to provide for the common good, they ought to give people money, but that's just me being facetious. Go ahead. Sarcastic.
Yeah. But, I mean, I've heard there's a lot of good things that are happening, business-wise in its own. I hear there's gonna be a hold on what the fuck is it called? Like, loans and shit from colleges. I actually heard somewhere just, actually right before we started recording this, some, what the hell are they called? Auto companies. They're making ventilation masks and shit because we're such short supply for them.
Nice.
and even local businesses. And Sarge was on his podcast, Doug Gray Area. If you guys have a chance, make sure you check out Doug Gray Area on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, or go to DougGrayArea.com and check it out. Subscribe. Awesome dude, part of Freakin Studios. But he was on a live podcast yesterday, and I actually called in and was talking to him for a little bit. It was a lot of fun and really cool to do. But we talked a lot about small businesses and supporting your local restaurants and stuff like that, because some restaurants are they're making the choice to stay open during this hard time.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do it. I mean, technically, yeah, maybe they have to because they need to make some kind of money any which way they can. But they're putting the safety and well-being of them and their employees in harm's way when it comes to actually giving food to random fucking people out on the streets.
Right.
I was picking up food from Game On, which I love Game On, Bar and Grill in Peatone. If you guys are ever in the area, make sure you check out Game On. Absolutely love it. Great food. Great people too. And, Sarge said it best, he said the best of anyone, and it's not that he created it, everyone says the same shit, is you need to support your local restaurants because they're the only ones out there in the world. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell, they're gonna survive and they're gonna be around, for years and years and years. But stuff like this could cause, independent owners and stuff to shut down businesses. I mean, Fire Pit Bar and Grill decided to close up for the time being. They're not operating until this passes.
Yeah.
The Subway here in Peatone shut down permanently. They're closed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, then they're not reopening. These things, they don't affect them and a lot of people are like, it's just a couple of weeks and everything, they'll get by. And that's not it. If you're not pulling in an income on a daily basis when you own a business, you're not going to make fucking money. It's like people sitting at home and not working. I was on unemployment for 2 fucking months, and I had to I had to jump through all these hoops and go through all this process and just not fucking losing my house. And this is all pre-coronavirus shit.
Right.
This is just the norm.
Exactly.
And these restaurants don't want to stay closed. They don't want to not work. They don't want to not bring people in. They just have to follow the guidelines that are put forth not only by state government, but by a national government in itself. And I get it. A lot of people, Joe, we talked about this too. A lot of people are afraid to eat out nowadays because they don't know where food is coming from. They don't know what it is. So if you guys have a fear of ordering out and stuff like that nowadays, just because you don't know where the food's coming from, and the last thing you want to do is try to help out a restaurant, accidentally eat something that gets you sick, I completely understand. But a lot of bars like Game On, Fire Pit Bar and Grill, Sammy's, Tony's, and all that, they have alternatives that if you really could find a way to contribute, and I know we just got off the topic about, not having enough money for shit, but just listen. They have gift cards and they have merchandise and stuff that you guys can buy, and that in itself could also help out, a business as well. Absolutely.
That's what I say. If you can afford it, get a gift card now, and then when things are opened up again, go eat there. That helps the business get through the immediate crisis because it's an inflush of cash. Yep. Without having to spend that money on products or whatever. So overhead is low because employees aren't in, they don't have a lot of food on hand. But, if the local community buys a bunch of gift cards, that's a huge flush of cash that's going to help them get through this. And then, when it's all over, you can come in and use that gift card, enjoy your meal and make sure that you, drink more than the gift card was for, is what I would say. But that's just my opinion.
And you cannot use a gift card to tip your staff. I'm sorry, you just can't do it. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. I agree.
So Joe, we're gonna play another game of Mike
I did want to clarify something really quick beforehand.
Sure. Go ahead.
So the 75,000 a year is or 150,000 per couple is the full 2,400. It scales down. I don't know how much because it's not listed here on this website, but people who are at 198,000 as a couple or 99,000 as a single individual will still get something. I don't know how much it'll be, but
okay, cool. So,
but I still think it should be higher. But that's not everyone agrees with me, and I understand.
Now, is this going to be taxed? You think they're going to tax this shit?
Tax free. I looked that up already. Yep.
Okay, Joe, I'm gonna let you decide then, here and now. We still gotta do, That Freakin' Happened. And we gotta play, another installment of the game My Corona. So which one do you want to do first?
Let's do. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna say let's do That Freakin' Happened.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Sure, I can go. Okay, go ahead. So on this day in history, actually, in 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk invented the polio vaccine.
Nice. I almost did that one. Because of what's going on nowadays, I almost did that
That's
one.
100% why I picked it.
No, that's not the, never mind. I'm interrupting. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was the egg sandwich thing, but that's completely different. That's, fucking, what's that?
Oh, salmonella or whatever?
No, the fucking, penicillin. That's penicillin.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Come on, you're the college kid.
Sorry. I forgot
We've been doing this going on almost 5 years now. You should know what I mean, even though I don't say it right. Anyway, go on. Polio.
But yeah, anyway, so Jonas Salk, he invents the polio vaccine. It works he's actually had been running a trial for a long time. Today in 1953 was when it was announced that it was successful and that it would work. And, my favorite thing about Dr. Salk is he never filed a patent for the vaccine so that it could be given away for free because it was it was such a critical thing to make sure that people were healthy and able to recover from this virus that he decided no one should make a profit from it.
Tesla felt the same way, didn't he?
I believe so.
Isn't that how he got screwed out of everything? Isn't that how Edison stole his shit?
That's a big part of it. Also, Edison was a huge dickhead.
Yeah.
He would do things like electrocute elephants to death in front of crowds to show them the dangers of Nikola Tesla's alternating current.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to Edison sold direct current. He was a battery guy more than a light socket guy.
Okay, I gotcha. I also went with something that I felt was kind of privy to what's going on nowadays. But I want to put a nice twist on it because I heard a lot of people are having issues with Asian countries. Again, don't know why. I get it, coronavirus happened in China, but don't sit there and belittle people because of that situation. Shit happens. So I went with Washington D.C. Cherry trees. This occurred on March 27th, 1912. The first of the famous cherry tree encircling the tidal basin in Washington D.C. are planted. They were a gift from Mayor Yukio Ozaki of Tokyo City to the city of Washington, D.C., celebrating the growing friendship between the U.S. and Japan. U.S. First Lady Helen Herron Taft and Viscountess Chinda, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it don't matter, the wife of the Japanese ambassador, planted the first two of these trees on the north bank of the tidal basin in West Potomac Park. These two trees still stand.
Nice.
Right.
Have you ever been to Washington, D.C.?
No, I really want to, though. Mostly just because I want to see Big Ass Lincoln sitting in a chair.
Oh, that is great. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
Yeah, the cherry trees are also wonderful. I really loved.
I never heard it. I never knew anything about them. Until I found this date, the May 27th, for, I guess it's tomorrow, based on this recording. I didn't know anything about it. Like, I mean, there's very, like, slim, like, bits and pieces of Washington D.C. like I understand. Like, I heard that, like, the way the buildings are set has to do something with Freemasons.
Yeah, supposedly. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah. Like the Washington Monuments, like the point of something. It's such a goofy thing. Plus, I heard they just reopened the Washington Monument, like, last year or something like that. The elevator or some shit.
Oh, dang.
So, no, Washington D.C. is definitely one of those places I do want to see. You know, I want to see, like, the Smithsonian. I want to see, the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, just everything, you know. whiz past, the White House just to see how big it really is. I mean, it seems big, but who really knows? I mean, we don't really know.
Right?
Is it big though? Have you seen it? Is it fucking huge?
I have seen it. Well, it doesn't seem that big, from, like, where you're standing on the sidewalk. But it's so far away from the street, it's really hard to tell if it's just a trick of, like, perspective.
Gotcha.
So I think it's smaller than you'd think it'd be, but also still pretty huge.
Mm-hmm. It's like the type of house that you would love to own but can never afford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Well, and especially since I think it has like multiple sub-basements that have things and like a bowling alley and stuff.
Right. Has a book that you pull off the shelf that opens it up to fucking like hideaway. I get it.
Yep. Sorry, I'm picturing President Trump dressing up as Batman and running around the city doing like a Christian Bale Batman voice.
Right. Oh, fucking man. If he needs an Alfred, I can use extra money. Yep. Alfred. Alright, man. Let's do another game called another installment of My Corona.
Let's do it.
If you guys remember the last couple of weeks we've been doing this, we've been basing it a lot on basically coronavirus. The first time we did this was about the shutdown. The second, what did we do on the second time?
What were we doing the second time?
It was like preventing like illnesses or like preventing the coronavirus or something like that.
I can't remember either.
But that's not important. What's important is that we're going to kind of focus more on liquors. Woo-hoo. Because a lot of people sit there and they compare the coronavirus to Corona beer itself. And I know there's a lot of memes out there that are making fun of Corona as a whole. Putting like these masks and stuff on like other beers and pushing it to the side of the fridge from Corona. Mm-hmm. And it's all fun and games. I don't know if Corona's really being hurt by the coronavirus. I really should look that up, but not important right now.
Right. I have seen pictures where it's the only beer left in the beer aisle, but
yeah, I've seen memes where people left toilet paper to grab a Corona. So, and I think that's one of the things I do want to look into doing when we start doing more YouTube videos for Freakin Studios. Is ranking not only Coronas, like the 3 different types, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, but like Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite, MGD, MGD64, Miller High Life, and stuff like that. I want to do stuff like that. I think we'll dive into that. I'll talk a little bit more about the Freakin Studios YouTube channel here in a little bit, because I really got to get this game out there to the world. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to take the 5, there's 6 categories of liquors. You have whiskey, vodka, gin, brandy, tequila, and there's another rum. We're only going to do 5 of them. And Joe, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 3 popular brands of these 5 categories that we're going to do. We're not going to do brandy because outside of Hennessy, I really don't know fucking brandy.
Fair.
So I'm going to do the top 5. I'm going to give you 3 popular brands from those categories, and you're going to rank them on Premier, Extra, and Light. Now, how this is going to work is if you're going to call Corona Premier, that is the best one. That is your premier choice brand. If it's Corona Extra, it's good, but the taste is just too strong. It's too overbearing.
Okay.
Or Corona Light, it's a little weak. It's just not. It's not worth it in a way.
Gotcha. All right.
So Premier, perfect. It's almost like the three bears and fucking Goldilocks. Too hard, too soft, just right.
Perfect. All right.
So, let's go ahead. I'm going to start here with whiskey. So, again, I'm assuming, because I didn't run this by you, because that'd be fucking logical to do shit like that. I'm going to assume you've tried every single one of these liquors that I have here.
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
And if I haven't, I'll lie about it.
Excellent. So when it comes to whiskey, I have Jack Daniels, Crown Royal, and Jameson.
Oh.
So what's the Premier? What's the Extra?
Well,
what's the Light?
Well, Jameson is my premier whiskey. Okay. I do love me some Jameson. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say, Jack Daniels. I'm gonna go with That's Too Much. So I'm gonna name it Extra.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Crown Royal is Too Little.
Gotcha. I also I want to tell you what I predicted for you. Just okay. So I was actually gonna go with Crown Royal being the premiere for you. Jameson I thought would be your extra, and your Jack Daniels would have been your light.
Gotcha. Nice.
I don't know, like, I mean, and I guess logically I should have thought, like, I know we talked about Jameson a lot, before. For some reason I could see being a Crown Royal guy, though.
I do like the Crown Royal.
Yeah, how do you like the Crown Royal apple?
Oh, it's delicious.
That's garbage. I'm not an apple flavor.
That's fair. And it is super fake apple flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, vodka. We have Kettle One, Grey Goose, and Tito's. Premier, Extra, and Light.
Well, Kettle One is way too strong, so I'm gonna put it as extra.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, see, this is tough. Tito's is my go-to, so I'm gonna put it on the premiere. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna put Grey Goose as the too little, although I think that actually is a good thing, because vodka should be flavorless. But I still would rather have Tito's than Grey Goose, because it, basically tastes the same, but it's cheaper.
No, I agree with you. Actually, that's how I felt that you would have gone. I mean, Grey Goose and Kettle One, I think you can flip-flop either way. I think out of all three of them, those are the ones that have, like, that vodka, like, hit to it.
Mm-hmm.
When Game On opens back up down here and everything, you're in the area, you gotta try Dillinger's vodka.
Alright.
It's a local distillery vodka, and it's smoother than Tito's, believe it or not.
Dang. Alright.
If you ever thought that anything could be smoother than Tito's, this is what Dillinger's is. It's absolutely amazing. I love it.
Nice.
Tequila. Patron, Cuervo, and Don Julio.
Let me think here. I'm gonna say, Patron for me is way too strong. What were my other choices? Don Julio and what?
Don Julio and Jose Cuervo.
Oh, Jose Cuervo. Oh, God. Never mind. I would rather drink Patron than Jose Cuervo. So I'm gonna put Cuervo as extra. I'm gonna put Patron as middle of the road and Don Julio at the bottom.
Okay, I would have switched Patron and Julio with you. I would have said Patron was a little too weak, which it's not. Any of these liquors isn't weak in the sense that it'll get you fucked up. It's just like when it comes to taste, Don Julio I will have put as your premier.
That's probably fair. I don't drink a lot of tequila, so it was a tough choice.
Yeah. Well, I do have a bottle of Don Julio at the house, so whenever you come to Travis C's Saloon.
Alright, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Which, I'm also like, I don't know how you take your shots, if you prefer them chilled or not, but I'm more of a chilled shot guy.
I don't know that I have a preference, to be honest.
Yeah, Jim. It does make a difference when it comes to tequila, though.
I can see that.
Rum. We have, Captain Morgan, Bacardi, and Malibu.
Malibu, I'm gonna say is light. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna go Malibu light. I'm gonna say, Captain Morgan is my premier, and I'm gonna say that, Bacardi is extra.
Are you more of a spiced rum guy over a regular rum guy?
I am much more of a spiced rum guy over a regular rum guy.
Have you tried Kraken?
Yes, I love Kraken.
Right. Huge fan of Kraken. I just love that when it comes to, like, and Keelakkai. I don't know if you ever tried the Keelakkai.
Oh, I've had Keelakkai. You've had it in your freezer before, right?
Yes, I still have it in my freezer.
So good.
It's so amazing. But when it comes to, like, Kraken or Keelakkai, not so much Captain Morgan. But when you mix it with Coke and shit, it has like a cream soda, Dr. Pepper, root beer kind of taste to it, depending on like what kind of person you are. Kraken and Keelakkai are the only ones for me that does that. Captain Morgan, I've had some bad nights with Captain Morgan, so we don't really talk too much anymore. But all I know is like whenever I drink diet soda and I want rum, I go Bacardi. When I have regular soda and I want rum, I go Keelakkai or Kraken.
Nice.
Oh god, it's fucking heaven. Malibu, fuck Malibu. I had to find another rum.
Right. Malibu's only good if you, mix it with, like, equal amounts of pineapple juice.
Exactly. Alright, last one, gin. This one was really hard because I don't even think you're a gin guy.
No, I'm not. This is gonna be tough.
So I got Bombay Sapphire, Tanqueray, and Beefeaters.
I'm gonna go with this one off of what other people have suggested to me. So I'm gonna say Beefeaters is the premier.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Tanqueray is the light, and I'm gonna say I've already forgotten. Bombay Sapphire is I'm gonna put it as the extra.
Okay.
And they might flip flop. I honestly don't know. I don't drink a lot of gin.
Gotcha. Is there any honorable mentions? Any liquors that I didn't mention that you do have a preference when it comes to like whiskey or rums and stuff like that? I mean, obviously we talked about Kraken, but
yeah, with rums, I think we covered all the ones I really like. With whiskey, I love Irish whiskey, so I'm a big fan of like Bushmills. I'm trying to remember. There was a whiskey I tried. I must have had too much of it because I can't remember what it is anymore. I'd recognize it on the shelf. And then of course, the other thing with whiskey is, I gotta throw a shout out to Early Times, even though it's horrible.
mm-hmm.
Just because, Papa drank it. But, so that's, if you want to spend $15 on a bottle of bourbon, probably buy something else. But, so I also like the weird medicinal shit. Like, I like Jägermeister. I like Malort. Those are, I know, acquired tastes.
Yeah.
Have you ever had Screwball whiskey?
Is that peanut butter one?
Yeah.
I had it once. Didn't hate it. It was, even though I knew what it was, it still shocked me.
It's shockingly peanut buttery.
It's dangerous. That's some dangerous fucking shit. Yeah, yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
But no, I've had it, and it's very good. If you guys like fucking peanut butter, fucking do it. It'll freak you out at first, but then after a while, you'll learn to love it.
Absolutely. And then I have one other, there's a whole distillery out in Connecticut where I was for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend everything they have there. It's called Litchfield Distillery. They've got gin, they've got vodka, they've got all kinds of bourbon. Everything there is good.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. Well, I know,
I was just gonna say, it's the only gin I've had that I've actually really liked.
Well, I know, when we were, making the soda ranking, video for Freaknet Studios, we did kind of discuss a possibility of doing a whiskey ranking video. So I think that's still in the works to do that. We just gotta get past this, quarantine and have the opportunity to get back together and do something like that. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out any of our, Freaknet videos, which is only 3 right now, so it's not like you're missing too much. Head over to YouTube, search Freaknet Studios, find our channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when the videos drop, and check out the rankings that we did. We did hot sauce, a month ago, a few weeks ago we did burgers, and a couple weeks ago we did soda, so check them out. If you guys have any recommendations for any other food rankings you want us to do, comment below in the video, or you can message us at freaknetstudios@yahoo.com. And I mean, we do all this stuff for you guys, the listeners, and the best way for us to entertain you guys is to give us what entertains you. So I know Sarge asked us if I had an idea on what we would do next for a video. Honestly, the only thing I could think of, was we're thinking about doing an Easter themed, kind of like food ranking and stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen because we probably won't get past this quarantine issue anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I know whiskey's one. I know we're talking about doing a 4th of July theme, a Thanksgiving theme. But I mean, there's so many different things we could do. So I'm not sure which one's going to be next. We got to find out when we can all meet up again and get that figured out. But when we do, obviously we'll let you guys, our listeners here at this Freakin' Show, know that Freaknet Studios is dropping something else. So make sure you check out Freaknet Studios on Facebook and Instagram as well by searching Freaknet Studios and like it. Also like us here at This Freakin' Show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook just by searching This Freakin' Show. Because this show drops every single week on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Podbean. Joe, what are you freaking thinking about?
I am freaking thinking about BioShock, which is a game that came out years ago, it feels like. Actually, I know for a fact it was years ago. But it was on sale. The whole BioShock 1, 2, and 3 were all together for $15 on the PlayStation Store. So it's what I've been spending my quarantine time doing. So, check it out. A lot of fun. Especially if you like, first-person shooter and horror games.
Nice.
So, yeah. What about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
I got the new MLB 2020, MLB The Show 2020, this past weekend. I was really excited for it. And I know in my head, I'm like, it's just the same as all the other ones. What does it matter? But I love that the graphics get better every year, and I love that the storyline is really incredible when you do like My Career and stuff like that. So, I could probably get by without having to buy the new one, but why fucking do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I got that this past weekend. I absolutely loved it. It took a little bit longer than I would like for it to download completely, but hey, whatever. Eventually it did show up. In the meantime, I was watching the TV show The New Girl on Netflix, which I believe it was a Fox show from like 2011 to 2017 or 2018, which is also really funny. So if you haven't had a chance to check out New Girl, make sure you do that as well, because it's really fucking funny. Zoe Deschanel's in it. A couple other fucking people. I don't know. I've seen them in other things, but I just can't think of their names right now. Fucking love it.
It's a good show.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Every week our listeners could catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. But if an hour of Cartoon Joe a week just isn't enough and you need to get more Cartoon Joe, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Awesome. Guys, again, I want to give a special thanks out to ballwash.com and Audible for being sponsors of the show. Make sure you go to ballwash.com, check out all of their products, kits, and subscriptions they have at their store. And when you go to checkout, make sure you type in the code FreakNet, which will save you 15% on your final order cost. Also, make sure you check out audibletrial.com/FreakNet today. Get your 30-day free trial plus a credit to your first book purchase right now. Make sure you do check out the podcast on social media, as well as going to thisfreakinshow.com, where you can find the list of all the guests we've had in the past years, and hopefully to have some this coming year as well, because when 2020 eventually does get better, we're going to make it that much better when we get our guests back and we're able to sit down and talk with them, like Clint.
Damn straight.
Yeah. The show gets dropped every single week on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Podbean. Just by searching This Freaking Show. Make sure you let your friends know to follow, subscribe, rate, review the pod, because those ratings and reviews do help us out on all social media and pod platforms. That's all I got. As always, I am Travis C.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freaking Show. I'm out.